This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
this
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
At least I didn't fake it, I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march my heart to drum. Nobody, oh nobody is gonna rain on me.
Ooh, child. Me and Michelle was like, y'all trying to cancel me? I'm gonna fight for my life.
No, she did and won it back. Good for her.
Listen, that was a little dramatic. I'm kidding. It's Monday. Let's start the week off right. Welcome to DBL. That was Leah and Michelle, of course, performing Don't Rain on My Parade at last night's Tony Awards. So Ariana DeBose hosted the event again, but this year the show was unscripted because writers are still on strike. So despite the hurdle, there were lots of memorable moments, including a historic moment when Alex Newell and J. Harrison Gee became the first non-binary performers to win acting Tony Awards. Here's what Alex said.
I have wanted this my entire life. I should not be up here as a queer, non-binary, fat, black little baby from Massachusetts. And to anyone that thinks that they can't do it, I'm going to look you dead in your face that you can do anything you put your mind to.
There you go, Al. What's Erica's favorite saying?
If you see it, you can
Be it.
There we go.
There you go. I thought you had it this time. There you go.
I said that with the confidence level at about a 5, maybe. But yeah, honestly, I just took what they had to say and really, I feel like the person coming after them will not have that to say. They won't have to say, I shouldn't be up here because they've seen it. And it's the beginning and the link of it in a chain, and it's an honor to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the other side to that is sometimes you have to be it so other people can see it. And I'm just always so inspired by, I know we talk about award shows on both sides of the coin, but you have these moments where it's like it's the first for someone or a group of people, or, it's just such a form of inspiration of someone who decided that they would rather die than not pursue their dream. Like they would do everything they could in order to make their dream happen, and to see it is an honor, like every time.
And Tori, this is your Super Bowl.
I love the Tonys.
Yes, all right.
I love me
Jazz
some
hands.
Tonys.
I like a good jazz hand.
I'm a musical theater kid. Yeah, it was fantastic. And you know what's great about the Tonys is when you win, you're surrounded by other artists, and they are all so happy to be with you and to be surrounded by you. And also in this climate of dealing with, Florida and non-binary, and it's a lovely thing to see someone win something for once during Pride Month.
I love it.
I love it. You know what else I love?
said.
Sean Hayes. He's one of my favorites. Sean Hayes can also add Tony Award winner to his resume. The former Will and Grace star won for lead actor in a play for his role in Goodnight Oscar, and during his acceptance speech, he showed some love for his husband. Let's take a look.
Oh my God, this has got to be the first time an Oscar won a Tony. But I want to thank, I'm shaking. I can't believe this is so surreal. First of all, my husband, Scotty. It's Scotty, right? Yeah. I never can get it right. You are my purpose every single day of my life.
It's great to put a name, or face to the name, I should say, because I listened to a Smartless podcast with Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, Jason Bateman. Hilarious, and he always mentions his husband. Everything he does, he's like, Scotty did this yesterday. Me and Scotty did this yesterday. So it's super cute. He puts in the hard work, and it's nice to put that face to the name.
I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever received an award where you've gone up on stage and taken the award? And if so, were you married at the time, and did you shout your spouse out? I know it's a lot.
I did. It was virtual because I won it during the pandemic, but I did say something about my husband because if I wouldn't, my husband is like not only my husband, he's my partner in everything that I do, and I think that when you do shout out your partner or significant other, it shows you that you're in a partnership, where sometimes not everybody has that, so.
I won at Michigan, the University of Michigan Best Actress at the film festival, and I won a $5 Potbelly's gift card, and I thanked my mom and dad.
That's what's up.
But it was like a moment I'll never forget.
Is there footage of this?
Probably from my dad's like old digital camera, and people had to wait. But it was, you know, it's something you do, and you shout out those that have supported you. Now I would 1,000% shout out to Brooks. How about you?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
I don't know how you follow that.
Yeah, yes.
$5 gift card.
I have $7 Subway winners over here. No, I'm not married, so maybe that's a different question. If you're married but in a serious relationship, can you shout them out, because that might not age well?
Mm-hmm.
Hal's posing a question on a Monday.
Yeah. But if it's your partner, see, I think there are sometimes you end up in these relationships where one reason or another, it becomes competitive against each other. And those relationships can last, or sometimes they don't have the longevity. But when you have someone who is your true partner in every sense of the word, then it's only appropriate to acknowledge them, because you wouldn't be there without them.
Heck yeah. Scotty.
Scotty too hottie. I don't know, it just rhymed. I just said it. Okay, it looks like Aaron Rodgers might be a fan of Broadway as well. The NFL star walked the red carpet at the show last night, but fans said Aaron looked a little confused during the show and posted this screenshot of him at the show. What do we think of Aaron Rodgers going to the Tonys? I think, if people don't know out there, they're not football fans, he's the new quarterback of the New York Jets, right?
Oh.
And New York, Broadway, I think they're just getting him out there a little bit, and I don't know if, maybe he is a big fan. He was at the Swiftie concert. Maybe he's a fan. I don't know.
Yeah, there was literally a New York quarterback nicknamed Broadway Joe. So
Yeah.
it's not
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so it's not Joe Namath. So it's not that crazy for a New York quarterback to ingratiate himself with the arts community.
And I think Aaron Rodgers is a really weird, cool mix of sort of granola-y. Remember, he was dating Haley Stanfield. Am I saying that correctly? I think he's kind of quirky, and I think this is a great way for a franchise New Yorker to really take on the city. I wondered, Broadway Joe, did he get that name because of the things he wore?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he wore fur jackets, right?
Yes,
Joe
fur
Namath?
coats
Okay,
and
okay.
everything in the late 60s, which wasn't a thing then.
Got it. That's how
he's
I
a
got it.
very flashy guy. But I don't know. I took the fact that they took that picture of him with his eyes kind of open.
Excuse me,
I took
Shailene
it for
Woodley.
shade.
It's the Ben Affleck effect.
Right. It's just like he's there, and because if he said, I would never attend an event like that, he would get killed, and rightly so. But he's there, and I feel like they pulled that picture because it's a way to ostracize him, like he was looking at something that his brain couldn't fathom, when really he might just love the theater and also be able to throw a football.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
And by the way,
what are your thoughts?
It was Haley Stanfield. I just want to say, not.
Isn't it Steinfeld?
I mean, Shailene Woodley, not Haley. I get them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies.
How dare you?
First and last.
Yeah, I got the wrong person. Okay. So sorry.
Yeah. I was like, I was
Shailene Woodley. Apologies.
putting it together. Yeah.
Apologies.
But I get it. I get it. Is that the end?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with celebrity chef Curtis Stone. He's telling us about being a judge on Crime Scene Kitchen, and Amy Schumer calls out celebrities who lie about being on Ozempic. We're going to talk about that next.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point.
But I want to have a conversation about what's happening now.
Listening to
I mean, literally.
our senior executive producer talk about the
Oh,
tone.
really? Oh, yeah. So he would listen. This is what you'd see him when he talked. This is how he talked. On a cigar. He was there.
He's doing Oscar Levant.
Yeah, let's explain
That's
it.
Yeah. These are the notes we get. These are the notes we get between breaks. That's why the show's so wild.
Thank you very much.
Jeff, you need to get more clear.
So if you didn't know, my earpiece, if you guys want to know behind the scenes, it's like here instead of over, and the whole time you're trying to talk and look pretty and feel good and say some smart things, and you're like, this thing in my ear, this thing in my ear. Let's see. Might just be a bad wire. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. So he's talking about Sean Hayes, who won the award for playing Oscar, who's an actual person who Bert remembers watching on talk show hosts. So I have to go take a look and see. I don't know the real person, so I can't wait to see. But Sean Hayes, Jack and Karen from Will and Grace. Do you know Will and Grace? You're very young.
Do you consider Jack Park?
You know of it. Do you know it like transformed the gay culture, right? Would you go back and stream it? Is it like Friends to your generation? Right, right.
Between Johnny and Jay.
and it's so important.
In pop culture,
Right. It's really good. If you guys don't know, it's quick writing, really good writing, but a good rewatch. So if anyone's young out there and you're into streaming, Friends is always big now. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I would check out Will and Grace. Very funny, quick. And Jack and Karen were the funny asides, and they just kept winning all the awards. So that's all I got.
Right.
I can't get this.
What interview are you talking about?
Letterman famously had that interview with, was it Joaquin Phoenix?
Dude, you know that was fake.
Yes, it was
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
That was fake.
That interview?
That was fake.
Welcome back to DBL. Everyone is talking about a new class of weight loss drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy, but if you take one of these new drugs for weight loss, should you have to tell the truth about it or about how you're losing the weight? That's the question we're asking after Amy Schumer blasted stars who lie about their new skinny figures. Here's what she said on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah. And now everybody lying. Everyone's like, a smaller portion. Like, shut the f up. Right. You're on Ozempic or one of those things.
Or Wegovy or whatever.
Yeah, or you got work done. Like, just stop. Like a year ago, I tried it. Okay. You know, it's like, you know, you try it. And I was one of the people that felt like so sick and like couldn't like play with my son. I was so skinny and I was just like he was throwing a ball at me and it was just, and you're like, okay, this isn't livable for me.
All right, so the question is, should stars, because people look up to them, be honest with the way they're losing weight?
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so.
I do.
Talk
That's
to
the
me.
end of the discussion.
Yeah, go for it. No, go for it. Why do you say that?
The only difference is because you have all those kids looking up to you. And in an age in which social media reigns and anorexia and bulimia and suicide for teens are so high, to me, the responsible thing to do, again, my brand is very relatable. I would tell you if I'm on anything, to the few fans I have.
She can name them.
Mom.
Haley Stanfield.
But in this day and age, which I call the age of transparency, there's nothing that could go. I can't see what is a con about being open about it.
Well, I mean, you're talking about all the kids looking up to you. My first thought was like, what about Major League Baseball players? What about professional wrestlers that were all, you know, work out and take your vitamins, and they were taking something else in the
But that's
back.
illegal. This isn't illegal.
I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm just saying when you have kids looking up to you in this transparency, I think we can talk about kids, which is a very necessary and important conversation because they are role models, and there is a lot of responsibility with that. But then they're also their adult fans. And their adult fans are looking to, hey, look, guess which celebrity let himself go this summer? Here's pictures of him on the beach. Is Erica doing something? You're scrutinized, especially at the age, we're not 22 anymore. It's hard.
Speak for yourself.
24.
Okay.
And it's hard now. And so you're being scrutinized on the level. We have a story coming up about being overly scrutinized. It's going to affect you, and it's going to make you do desperate things. People want to lose weight and look as good as they can, and especially if there's a bag attached to that.
Well, yeah. Well, anorexia was trending this weekend for quite a long time, and it was just the comments were very scary.
Yeah,
Let me just put it that way.
In what way?
Just the way people celebrating like the best anorexic bodies, like there was a lot of different topics underneath that headline. And I think that this Ozempic craze has really created a whole different conversation for so many people because it's also changed the value of thinness. There's an actual price tag to it. And for people who have been kind of like when everyone started getting like BBLs, like the Brazilian butt lifts and stuff like that.
Right.
And you had these fitness models who were on Instagram saying that, you know, they do a lot of squats, and it changes like every time we move that goalpost to something that isn't realistic to anyone in real life. It is dangerous.
It's dangerous, yeah.
So I don't think that everyone needs to come out and say this is what I'm doing to my body, but if it's something that it's publicly talked about and you are contributing to that conversation, I do think that you have a responsibility to be open in that way.
I think we should do a BBL segment on DBL.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
BBL's
Marketing tool.
on DBL.
Hey.
That was funny.
Got to get it out there. Got to get it out there. All right. On a related note, Kristen Davis is opening up about her own efforts to look younger for the camera, just like Al was talking about. In an interview with The Telegraph, Kristen said she's done filters and it's been both good and bad, saying she had to get them dissolved, and said she was ridiculed relentlessly for them. Exactly what you're talking about, Al. Kristen went on to say, quote, I have shed tears about it. It's very stressful. You're trusting doctors, but people personally blame us when it goes wrong, as if I jabbed a needle in my face. Kristen also said that when she had some work done on her lips, no one told her she didn't look good for the longest time, until eventually a good friend decided to be frank with her. And I think that's what good friends, really good friends, are for.
Yeah, I've gotten Botox where it's Spocked, you know, Captain Spock, Dr. Spock, excuse me. And Sam went right up to me and goes, you got to get a Spock fix. And all you have to do is a drop here, and it lowers it. Had she not said that,
Did you notice?
I kind of did, but I needed someone to just be like, I'm your friend, you don't look good, fix it. And that was, and I'll do that to any one of you guys. I'll be like, you don't look good.
Yeah, that's real. Brother, stop texting me that at 3 in the morning.
Every night, Al, you don't look good.
I think we'll end it there. We'll end it there. All right, we'll be right back.
On May 22nd, murder suspect Brian Kohberger appeared before Latah County Judge John Judge.
You also have a right of silence. That right is protected under the Idaho and federal constitutions, so you can remain silent throughout these court proceedings, and that can't be held against you in any way.
In the courtroom, Kohberger was formally charged with the murders of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. This was the first time Judge Judge has been involved, leading one viewer to ask, was the judge changed unexpectedly on the Moscow murders case? Let's verify. Our sources are Latah County District Court, the Idaho Supreme Court, and the Prosecuting Attorney's Office for Blaine County, Idaho. First of all, yes, there was a change of judges in the case. In his first court appearance back in January, Kohberger appeared before Judge Megan Marshall. She continued to oversee the case up until the grand jury issued its indictment. That's when court documents show Judge Judge took over. The reason for changing judges is due to the way that Idaho courts handle the flow of criminal justice cases. Before the grand jury indictment, the court was preparing for a preliminary hearing to determine if the case should proceed. As the Blaine County prosecutor explains, preliminary hearings are held in the lowest local court and without a jury. In the Moscow murders case, this meant the preliminary hearing was assigned to Judge Marshall in the magistrate court. The Idaho Supreme Court explains that magistrate judges hear less serious criminal matters as well as preliminary hearings. However, once the indictment came through, the preliminary hearing was no longer needed and the trial could proceed. At this point, the case was moved to district court, which Judge John Judge oversees. District court has jurisdiction over criminal cases and also includes a jury. So while there was a judge change, we can verify that no, it was not unexpected and was simply a part of the trial process. If you
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we sat down with a Michelin star chef who made his way all over the globe from Australia, working in intense kitchens to television shows and owning his own restaurants. Check out our conversation with Curtis Stone.
Welcome, Curtis.
Thank you so much. How you doing?
Thanks for being here, Chef. So we're always hearing about Michelin stars, but can you tell our audience and myself what it really means to be a Michelin star chef and what it felt like to earn yours?
Look, it's an award given out by the Michelin Guide, which is a guide born in France that's all over the world these days. And you know, as a young chef, you grow up working in these restaurants that have a Michelin star, and it's always your dream, of course, to get your own. So when you finally get that recognition, it is a very special moment, and it's a bit like our Oscars. It's our big night. Plan reveals.
It's like he gets a green jacket.
I think he explained it.
Okay, cool. You've been on countless cooking competition shows, and now you're a judge on Crime Scene Kitchen. Tell us what is different about judging this show that you find really, really fun.
Look, first of all, the contestants don't know what they're supposed to be baking until they go into that crime scene kitchen, and they walk in there and they have to try and sort of decode all of the clues that are left behind. So obviously something's been baked in that kitchen and they have to figure out what it was. But they all get slightly different things, which is kind of the fun part. So what we get to do is to watch them bake in. They bake for several hours, and then of course they present it to us. The question is, did they guess the right thing, and have they actually baked the right thing? Because if they haven't, then they have no chance of winning. And then Yolanda Gamp and myself get to do all of the tasting. It's hosted by Joel McHale, so you can imagine it's a whole lot of fun.
Oh, love it.
So, Chef, I know you're doing a TV show with all this and you're having fun, but do you ever feel bad about being critical towards someone's food that you know they put so much love and effort into, and then you kind of just smash it in their face? Not literally.
Oh, no, I love it. That's one of my favorite parts. No, of course. There's so much energy and effort put in by the contestants. So when they do make a mistake, it's a real bummer that you've got to sort of point it out. But the truth is, I think most people that put something up, they know if it's right or if it's not right, so they know what's coming.
Chef, I got to know, because a friend of the show, Joe McHale, has been on before. Does he ever pull pranks on set on you guys?
Oh, it's non-stop. It's like being 14 again. It's so fun. He's so ridiculous, and he actually came into Gwen, my restaurant. He dressed himself as a waiter. This has got nothing to do with the show, by the way. And he walked around the room offering people canapes, and he was telling them that it was horse. Of course, we don't cook horse. We have nothing to do with it. But that's just him. He can't help himself.
This is horse. So we understand that congratulations are in order because you just celebrated your 10-year anniversary with your wife, Lindsay.
Wow. Isn't she pretty? You stay with her for 10 years.
Two cuties.
Y'all look like the picture that comes in the frame. Like, that's not even right, okay? So we have to know, how did you woo her, and which dish of yours made her fall for you?
What a go-to for a first date.
Well, our very first date, she was 40 minutes late. I won't mention that. I was standing there having a glass of wine, and then she arrived, and the bartender said, "What would you like to drink?" And she said, "Oh, what single malt whiskey do you have?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll have this one, and I'll just have it neat." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm standing here with a glass of rosé." I felt totally outclassed. So the first thing I ever made for her was I made a chocolate mousse the following week, but I put some whiskey in it, and it just happened to be in the fridge the first time I invited her around to my house. So
there you go. This old thing. That's awesome. Oh, what a great go-to.
Wow. Michelin star whiskey
I have
pudding.
a random question.
Please.
What would you suggest? Obviously, people are not professional chefs, but if a guy does want to make a...
Or girl.
Yes, I'm talking about
himself.
A first date, you're trying to woo somebody. You're not a great cook, but you're decent. What do you say is a good go-to to try and woo, to try and have the same situation you have?
Well, I reckon you've got to figure out what their favourite thing is, like I did with the whiskey. Find out what's the ingredient that she loves, or what's something that she really likes, and then just have a go at it. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, but the fact that you thought about her in that way, I think that's the win.
How about your sons? Either of your sons taken after you in the kitchen?
Yeah, they love it. They're both in the kitchen with me a lot. Poor Hudson, I used to put him in the sink before he was old enough to climb out of it when I was in the kitchen at the restaurant. So, yeah, they've both been around it forever, and they're both good kids. They both love food, and they're in the kitchen with me a lot still.
DBL Nation, catch Crime Scene Kitchen Season 2. It's airing Mondays on Fox. Thanks again, Chef. We will be right back.
Thanks.
Looks fun.
Thanks, brother.
Good to see you guys.
Former President Donald Trump has been indicted on 37 counts related to mishandling classified documents after he left office. Court records reveal FBI agents took 11 sets of classified records from former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate during a search on August 8th. In an August 12th post on Truth Social, a social media platform he founded, Trump claimed that the documents were all declassified. The former president's comments prompted several of our viewers, including Beverly and Carol, to ask, can the president declassify documents? So let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Constitution, Executive Order 13526, Cal McClanahan, Executive Director of the National Security Counselors, a nonprofit public interest law firm, and Richard Immerman, professor and historian at Temple University. According to our sources, a president does have the authority to declassify documents while they're in office, but it isn't a formal process. Let me walk you through the levels of classification in the U.S. government and when presidents can and cannot exercise their power to declassify government records. The 3 levels of classification in the U.S. government are confidential, secret, and top secret. National security expert Kel McClanahan says the classification assigned to a document dictates
the level of damage that its release would cause to the national security of the United States.
According to the National Archives, a select group of government officials have classification authority, including the president, vice president, and agency heads. But let's focus on the president. The Supreme Court ruled the president's power over classified information comes from executive authority granted by the Constitution. A sitting U.S. president has wide-ranging authority to classify and declassify certain documents, but a former president does not. To classify a document, a sitting president has to make a plausible argument that it's related to national security, according to McClanahan. But he says there isn't the same requirement for declassifying documents.
He doesn't have to give any reason for declassifying it. He can just say, I decide that this should be declassified, and it's declassified.
According to our sources, there isn't a formal protocol the president has to follow in order to declassify government information. But historian Richard Immerman says there is an informal one that presidents generally follow. First, the president consults all departments and agencies that have an interest in a classified document. They provide an assessment as to whether the document should stay classified for national security reasons, and if there's a dispute among the agencies, they debate it. But ultimately, it's the president that makes the decision on declassification. So we can verify, yes, a president can declassify documents, but there isn't a set protocol that they have to follow. So what about the documents found at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate? Well, there are other federal laws that bar a former president from taking government documents, regardless of whether or not they were declassified. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. As wildfires cover the United States in smoke, you may be wondering, should I exercise outside in these conditions? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. So to find out what air quality range is safe for exercise, check the air quality index where you live. If the air quality is in the orange range, pretty easy, make some modifications. Assuming the air quality is no worse than orange, an outdoor workout of 30 minutes is reasonable, but if you feel discomfort, you should take it back inside. Next, avoid exercising before dawn or late at night. Lastly, if air pollution is at that orange level or higher, carry any medications that you need and take more breaks. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits has transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-813-6801 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information. Now, we've had some smoke come through Denver.
Yeah.
I think it's cleared out a little bit. But do you think it's gotten your sinuses a little bit?
For sure, you can hear me. But also ask if you want, if you have Siri or Alexa, hey Siri, what's the air quality today? And it will tell you not only the number, but if it's unhealthy. It's a really good trick you might not know, so you don't have to go look.
Let me try. Hey Siri, will Tori be on the show next year? No. Wow. No, sorry. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cloud in the sky.